What's going on, everybody? Don't do that. What's going on, everybody? Your boy Azkhalon, Mrs. Azkhalon. We are Team Rixie, and we're back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about the Genie Plus system at Disney World and our personal experience with it, along with our thoughts that we want to share about Genie Plus.
Genie Plus has been a controversial addition to most people's Disney trips, so we just wanted to give our 2 cents worth. Take it or leave it.
So let's
go.
So first of all, we want to talk about what Genie Plus is. So in case you don't know, it is the new Fast Pass system at Disney World. The only difference between Fast Passes is you got to pay for it.
No, there's many differences.
Well, yeah, one of the differences.
The biggest is you have to pay for it now.
You have to pay for it now, whereas Fast Passes were free. You could get your Fast Passes up to 60 days in advance if you had an upcoming trip booked. Whereas the Genie Plus, I think you can get it in advance, like pay for it.
You can buy it, but you can't make your reservations until the day of.
Yeah, so you can only make your reservations the day of, which
means you cannot plan ahead, which is probably our biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
You can't plan your day ahead of time.
We have a lot of problems with the Genie Plus system. I mean, I'm not saying that everything about it is bad, but one thing, when you're used to having those free Fast Passes and getting to really plan your trip out, it just makes things a lot easier. It makes it feel more like a vacation. Whereas when you're trying to get the Genie Plus and schedule that the day of,
this is your day. This is your day.
Yeah, you're on your phones a lot, and it just makes it a little bit more stressful and less like a vacation.
I guess you can all probably feel my energy coming from this.
Yeah.
About this topic. So.
Yeah, it kind of takes the fun out of the whole experience now.
And for those of us who like to plan ahead, it's difficult. I don't have a mind for logistics and strategy, so if I don't have enough time to do that, it's very stressful for me.
Some good things about Genie Plus that we do want to share before we dive into our experience about it. You usually can get multiple reservations for less popular rides and shows throughout the day after you have purchased it. So we found that to be, kind of helpful because we like to rope drop. And so usually we'll rope drop one of the, popular rides. And then throughout the day, we were able to, I think a couple of times on our trip, book multiple reservations throughout the day for those less popular rides.
For Epcot and Magic Kingdom. Okay, Epcot, the only reason we used it there, because you really don't need it there, the only reason we used it there is because we went to, I think, Hollywood Studios earlier that day and we hopped.
Yeah, we hopped.
And so, you get to Epcot and all the things are available except for like Test Track and Frozen, right? It also worked on our final day, but I think at that point it was kind of like we finally figured it out.
Yeah.
After having bought it 3 days prior to that, which kind of is like, well, I hated kind of figuring it out by the last day we were there. It was very frustrating.
So for Genie Plus, I forgot to mention this earlier, you use the My Disney Experience app to make your reservations. And so when you go in, they offer you times for a selection that you're trying to make. And so then when you click on it, it basically reserves you a spot in line within an hour time limit at some point throughout the day. And so
for more popular rides, you'll see a time, you click on it, by the time you go through the entire process, you're probably looking at 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours after when you first were trying to reserve it. So let's say you're trying to get Jungle Cruise at 10. You click on 10. By the time you get through to payment, you might be looking at like a 3 o'clock appointment.
Yeah. But those less popular rides, of course, you may be able to get those earlier times and different things like that. So that was a pro for us for a few days in our trip. Another pro for the Genie Plus is it works for on-property and off-property guests. I mean, as long as you have access to the app, you have access to booking your reservations with Genie Plus. So that's another pro that we discovered. Individual lightning lane. So
I like those.
Yeah.
I like those.
So those, you pay a separate price for
Okay.
the individual lightning lanes.
It started out as 2 rides per park, but now it's just 1 ride per park. You've got Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
You have Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
You have
It was Flight
Remy's,
of Passage.
Remy's at Epcot and Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are, you can just buy your time to go ride them. Now, they're more expensive. Like, Rise of the Resistance was $15 a piece.
Yeah.
Remy's was $9. I liked it. I liked it because I could put that aside in my day and then be concerned with, okay, when are we going to get all these other things that we're trying to do?
Yeah.
I wish they had more. I wish they had more individual lightning lane options.
Well, see, they started off when they first brought the Genie Plus to the parks. They had 2 at each park. Like, I think Space Mountain was the other one for Magic Kingdom.
Slinky Dog Dash.
Frozen for Epcot, and what was the other Animal Kingdom? Everest, but Everest was closed when we went for renovations. And so,
I love individual lightning lanes.
yeah, just keep in mind, though, it is a separate price you have to pay. And that was kind of confusing to us at first.
I wasn't confused. My thing is, if I'm going to pay, I would like to have that, oh, yes, I'm getting this ride that I want to ride, and it's put away in my back pocket. I don't have to worry about it later unless the ride goes down. And if the ride goes down, I think they work with you on it. So I liked individual lightning lane. Didn't like Genie Plus quite so much. But anyways.
All right, and then another pro, of course, to this is it's good if you don't like to wait in line much, especially for certain rides. So
We don't like to wait in line for Buzz Lightyear. The wait gets ridiculous. However, we were able to get a Genie Plus lightning lane reservation, and that was fine for us.
Well, see, and that was the thing that, when we had fast passes, we knew the system, I guess you could say. We knew which 3 we wanted to get, for each day we were spending in the park. We always rope drop.
So we could make a plan.
Yeah, and so we would rope drop, and then we would go to certain rides when they were less crowded, that were maybe popular and all of that. With this, that just totally changed everything.
You have to do everything on the fly.
Yeah, and
I know.
I'm
not good with that.
Well, and I know it seems like we're kind of whining about it, because, we had this beautiful thing and now it's taken away from us. But it has changed, how we experience Disney
I feel like
World.
we're paying to work harder at this
Yeah.
than when it was free. I don't know. All right, so let's talk about cons.
All right, so obviously the Fast Passes, one con is, or the Genie Plus, they're not free like the Fast Passes were. And then we already talked about you can't book them as early either.
It's $15 per person per day.
And
I would say we got it, I think, 4 times while we were there.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And I feel like we only got our money's worth maybe 2 out of the 4 times.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And, for us, it's a little bit easier. There's just 2 of us, so $30. We got our Genie Plus.
Imagine being a family of 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that can add up.
$15 per person per day. And you're already spending a lot on tickets.
Yeah. Disney
keeps raising prices and giving people less. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works. Can somebody explain to me how that works?
Yeah. So
it's working for them.
It's just
Mama's not happy, but whatever.
And so, another thing is, we kind of already touched on this, though. You start your day off stressed out.
Yes.
Because, so, the first time you can,
I'd be like,
get
shaking afterwards.
Your first Genie Plus reservation is at 7 a.m., okay, which is, I think, currently before any other parks open, even for early access.
The earliest access, I think, was Animal Kingdom at 7:30.
And so, you have a choice, too, when you're starting your day stressed out trying to get this. If you go for a popular ride, you can expect to probably get a later time throughout the day because, a lot of people are trying to get the earliest time for a popular ride. And then you'll have to just settle for those smaller attractions throughout the day if you want to get your money's worth, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Or you're just going to have to pick something else that's not popular and, rope drop a popular ride.
Or standby, which is...
Or do standby,
you're
yes.
going to be waiting for hours. So.
Yeah. So that just makes it stressing in the fact that you have such a dilemma.
Can people commiserate with me on like how many things you're having to think about at once in order to strategize this whole thing? That's a lot to think about on the fly the day of.
Yeah.
Whereas with fast passes, I could kind of think it out, I could kind of think it out ahead of time unless you get to the park and there's a ride down. That can throw a whole kink in the works.
Yeah, and then you have to go back and change stuff.
We could do it ahead. And so it's very hard for me as a person, as a human being who is not teaching a STEM-related class to do this on the fly. It's stressful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for whining. Pardon me.
So I think Disney has stated that to get your money's worth out of the whole Genie Plus experience, you should be able to at least ride 2 attractions per day.
And guess how many you could before for free with FastPass?
3. And that was kind of our goal. Each time we did this was to at least get 3. And I felt like I would at least be somewhat satisfied, even though I had to pay extra money after already paying to be there to begin with.
The first day we used it was at Magic Kingdom, and the only reason we got 3 is because we had a problem with the app. Went to talk to guest services, and they gave us an extra ride, plus a Genie Plus Lightning Lane. We could still make one. But that was only because we went to guest services because we had an issue. If we hadn't have done that, I don't know if we would have gotten 3 rides.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. Now, that said, we went back the last day we were there, and that's when Genie Plus worked for us. We had already ridden all the mountains.
We had already rode a bunch of the big
rides. And so it was very easy for us to get Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Buzz Lightyear, all these different things.
I guess we need to go ahead and just talk about our experience with it on our last trip. All right, so we've already started talking about our experience with it somewhat on our trip. And so we just kind of want to chronicle each day and what park we went to and whether or not we needed it or if we did buy it or we bought an individual Lightning Lane. So our first full day, we were at Animal Kingdom. And we did not need it there. And I think part of the reason why we didn't was because Everest was down. And so we rope drop Flight of Passage.
Being refurbished.
Yeah. We rope drop Flight of Passage that day and then went over to Navi River before going to the safari. And pretty much once we were done with that, all that was left was really, Dinosaur for an attraction. And we were able to get that done. And Animal Kingdom hasn't been as crowded as other parks lately.
No. Animal Kingdom, if you want to go to the least crowded park, that's your jam. We didn't do everything we normally do. We didn't go to
Rafiki's Planet Watch.
No, we didn't do
the Lion King
show.
We
didn't do Lion King.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize and then I'm like...
Yeah, we ended up going to see the Batman that day in the middle of the day at Disney Springs.
We didn't go to Kali River Rapids. I mean, we really spent... We left about...
11 or...
Between 10 and 11,
yeah.
I think. And then we went to see the Batman at 2, and then we had dinner reservations. So, I mean, we had a full day. It just wasn't a full day at Animal Kingdom.
But I still felt if we had stayed at Animal Kingdom a few hours longer, we would have been able to have gotten in all of those other rides without needing Genie Plus.
I really don't think you need it there or at Epcot. Just saying. Now, the other 2...
Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, that's when we had the... most experience with the Genie Plus. So our second full day, we were at Magic Kingdom. And so that was the day we tried Genie Plus for the first time. And Mrs. Azkhalon had already started telling you about our experience. I hate the Jungle Cruise queue. It's like really hot in that queue. I just do not like it. I do not like trying to stand in line in the middle of the day. So we were like, okay, we didn't fully know how it worked, the Genie Plus. And so we were like, let's go for Jungle Cruise.
So
at 7 a.m., we were rope dropping 7 doors that day. So at 7 a.m., we got Genie Plus for Jungle Cruise, and it ended up putting our time at like...
It was not that early.
Yeah.
It was, I'd say between 11 and 1. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
It was well into after opening.
And so...
I don't know. Maybe it was around 10. I can't remember.
Hold on, let me look.
I don't remember.
I have the notes for that day. Okay, so let me just refer to my notes that I took on my phone. All right, so we went into the app at 7 a.m. and we got Jungle Cruise to redeem between 11:05 and 12:05. And so with the Genie Plus, 2 hours after park opening, if you haven't scanned your first one, you can book another one. So at 11, because I think park opened for everybody at 9 that day, we got in at 8:30 because we were staying on property.
Ooh, 30 extra minutes for staying on property.
Yeah, don't even get us started about that. Anyways, at 11, we got a Splash Mountain, and it was to redeem between $2.55 and $3.55. So, but then we saw that there was an $11.55 Big Thunder Mountain available, and so we canceled the Splash Mountain one, and we clicked on that to get an earlier one. Well, it booked us for 4:35 to a 5:35 window when it said 11:55 a.m. on there. And so that was when, like Mrs. Azkhalon said earlier, I think we had dinner reservations around that time, and so that's when we went to guest services to complain. And so
no, to ask,
to complain,
to explain that the app was being weird for us. It kept showing me earlier times for Big Thunder, but it wasn't letting me book it.
Yeah,
and I don't know why, even after we did it the one time.
Yeah.
So.
And it was still showing Splash Mountain, too, even though we had canceled that one. Like, it was still showing
weird.
it. It was weird.
It was not doing what it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. I don't know exactly what it was doing, but it wasn't doing what it was supposed to.
So anyways, we went to guest services and we explained it. And so what she did was...
She gave us an anytime experience pass for Big Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And said, also, you can go ahead and book Splash Mountain as well right now if you would like to with your Genie Plus. And we were like, okay.
Okay, so we were able to get Jungle Cruise, Splash Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad that day.
And Seven Dwarfs. And I'm thinking that was all we rode that day.
Yeah, well, Seven Dwarfs we rode drop.
It was like 4 rides for real.
Did we not do Space Mountain that day? No.
Maybe. We might have. I think we might have done that right after.
Yeah, we did Seven Dwarfs, then we went over to Space Mountain, and then we were dealing with this. So
anyway,
that was
we got all the
we
mountains done, but that was it.
Well, and it was fortunate that we had, the app messing up, or we would not have even gotten to do that. Like Magic Kingdom, I always say Queendom. Magic Kingdom was crowded as crap that day. And
the whole place was crowded while we were there.
I mean, it was during spring break. It was in March. And Magic Kingdom seems to be always crowded,
That's why it's my least favorite. I'm sorry. I love it, but it's my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I love the rides there and everything. But yeah, that was all we got to do that day. And we were there until early afternoon. And so, yeah, it was just very frustrating that first day with this Genie Plus system. Like, we were really, really absolutely hating it then because we were just like, is this what we're paying for? Like, for the app to show there's a 10 o'clock available, and I know other people are clicking in too, but by the time you click on it, it books you for 2, 3, 4 o'clock, which means,
we're not rope drop to fireworks people. We get up at 5 a.m. to get there early, to get stuff done early, so that we can do other things. We're not spring chickens, okay? I cannot stay at the park all day. Yeah. I can't do it. It hurts myself.
Yeah, we've done it before in the past, and I ended up walking like you've probably seen Mrs. Azkhalon do in our Five Funny Stories video.
And I get this, I chafe. I get chub rub, and I also get exercise-induced vasculitis on my ankles and legs. It's very painful, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah, okay. Like really, if you stay there all day, Genie Plus will probably be more worth it to you guys. That
people say that, or if you hop, but we're rope droppers, so it's less helpful for us.
Yeah. And again, like, I know some of you might be sitting there and like, all they're doing is just complaining about how they used to have it easy and all of this. It's just, again, this is our own personal experience. Yours may be different. I mean, obviously, if the parks are less crowded, there's going to be more options available.
Well, unfortunately,
and lower wait times.
We are slaves to the calendar, the school year calendar. We can't go during off-peak times, typically. Mm-hmm. So we're stuck.
Yeah.
So that's our perspective. I would love to go in September. I would love to go in January, but we can't.
Yeah, we're teachers, so... you probably gather that from previous videos, but yeah. So only time we're really able to go is spring break during the summer, Christmas. Thanksgiving or Christmas break.
Big long break.
We used to have fall break, but that was taken away from us for a whole week because we went, fall break right when they were rolling out the Genie Plus. Like I think we left like right before it came out. So our first day using this was just awful, and it was just a bad experience. And we just went back to the resort and was just like, we don't know if we want to do this again. And we were like, what do we need to do now? Well, our next day, we were going to Hollywood Studios, so...
I decided I didn't want to pay for Genie Plus that day. But I did want to pay individual Lightning Lane for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
That's worth $15 a pop for me, for us not to have to wait in that line.
And I think we got
Even if you rope drop.
we got a pretty good one for Rise of the Resistance that day. I think it was around 10 or 11. I don't think it was later in the day.
I do not remember.
I can't remember. I didn't take a note about that one, but we got a pretty good one. But with it being an individual Lightning Lane and being very popular, I was actually shocked we got a good time and we were able to get one, because those can sell out. The individual Lightning Lanes can sell out, especially with these, the big popular rides, which they have them for.
And so this is why I love individual Lightning Lane, because this is what we did. We got to the park. Guess where we went? My favorite ride on property. We rope dropped Tower of Terror.
Everybody else was going to Slinky Dog Dash that first day we were there. Rise of the Resistance to rope drop. And Mickey and Minnie's was down that first day. Yeah. At opening. So we went to Tower of Terror and rode that, walked straight on. Then we went right on over to Rock and Roller Coaster and pretty much walked straight on that one too. And so that was a pretty good experience. We got to do Star Tours that day. We did an Indiana Jones show. And both of those...
Which we haven't seen in a hot minute.
Yeah. Star Tours, the wait times for Star Tours were low that day, like pretty much all day for whatever reason.
You can also get, if you purchase Genie Plus, Star Tours is very easy to get.
Yeah.
If you like that.
So we were able to ride that. So we did half of Hollywood Studios that first day. And so we felt a little bit better about things with that. And, the whole thing with Magic Kingdom Day before, we were glad that we were going a second day. And then the next day we went to Epcot, and like Mrs. Azkhalon said earlier, that face though, like she said earlier, you don't really necessarily need Genie Plus at Epcot either. So we did an individual Lightning Lane that day as well. For Remy's.
Remy's is cheaper than Rise of the Resistance. It's only $9 a person per ticket, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Was worth it for me.
Yeah, so we rope dropped that one. Or no, we individual Lightning Lane that one. And then we tried to rope drop Test Track.
Y'all don't know my problem with trying to rope drop Test Track at Epcot. Oh my gosh, we always have issues with it. It's always down.
So it was down, and so then we went over to Frozen.
And we met some of our friends there.
Yeah, some of our friends were there.
Jason and Beth and little baby Boone.
And so we got to ride with them on Frozen, and so that was really cool. And so then we were like, we still had time before we had to be at Remy's. And so, the first night we got there, we went to Epcot, so we had already ridden with Soarin'. So we didn't have to worry about that one on that particular day. So we decided to do Mission Space, which will put us close to Test Track in case they reopen. And fortunately for us, Test Track had just reopened. And I think Test Track was probably our longest wait that day. Then we ended up waiting about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not getting Genie Plus worked out for us. Getting the individual Lightning Lane was great.
Yeah.
Because when our time came up for Remy's, we just went.
Yeah, we were able to get on over there. So that's what we did that day. And then the next day was day 2 at Hollywood Studios. So we did purchase Genie Plus that day.
Because we had a lot of rides left to ride.
Yeah, and, we figured we can maybe get to redo some of the other ones as well, which we did. So that day we rope dropped Slinky Dog. And then we went to Midway Mania. Did we have a Genie Plus for that? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I think we only did 2 or 3 rides with the Genie Plus that day.
Yeah, we did Star Tours that day with Genie Plus.
I think we got a Minnie and Mickey's.
Yeah, we got Minnie and Mickey's. Yeah, we did. And then we did the Frozen
sing-along, which there was no reason to have them.
Yeah, the shows are weird. I guess if you get there, right when they're letting people in, that might benefit you better. I don't know. Well, we didn't realize
it would only work if there was a really long line for it, but they just pile you in.
Yeah.
Everybody gets in. We just were like, whatever, we have Genie Plus here.
Well, it was funny because we were standing outside of the entrance for the longest time. We didn't realize the Lightning Lane entrance was to the left.
But again, we went in with everybody else, so it was just kind of stupid.
Yeah. But anyways, we got 2 or 3. Well, we got 3 that day. So,
we got,
again, money's
Star
worth.
Tours.
Yeah, we got Star
Genie
Tours. I
Plus.
said that. Yeah, and Mickey and Minnie's. Did we get it?
We came back for Alien Swirling Saucers later.
Yes, okay.
Because we wanted to ride it. Raymond wanted to ride it.
And I like
He was
that
like,
ride.
we haven't ridden that in a hot minute. And I said, well, let's do... So we ended up, I think, getting a Genie Plus pass, but it was like later, like before our dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we did was we went and rode Alien Swirling Saucers, then we rode the Skyliner over to Caribbean Beach to eat at Sebastian's Bistro.
Yeah. Oh, we also did
worked out.
Smuggler's Run that day too, but not through Genie Plus. So
It
the
was
experience at Hollywood Studios was a lot better, and by then too, we had kind of figured some things out.
I will say that my friends and people I've talked to agree that Hollywood Studios is the most difficult park to use Genie Plus in.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's because it has all the new rides.
Yeah, and
a lot
everything
of them are
is
e-ticket
popular.
rides, it's just hard.
And then our last day there, we returned to Magic Kingdom, and so we had a game plan in mind that was better than the first day.
When did we rope drop?
So we rope dropped that day Peter Pan's Flight because
Yes.
when we got off of Seven Dwarfs the first day, I mean, Peter Pan's Flight was already 40 minutes plus.
Yep.
And that's one of those queues too. Like, I love the inside part of that queue once you get into the house and everything like that. But standing out in that heat and stuff, I do not like that.
In that narrow area.
Yeah, so we rope dropped Peter Pan's Flight that day. And then I think we went over to...
This is the day where we got the bang for our buck with Genie Plus.
Yeah, what all did we get? So yeah, we did several things that day at Magic Kingdom. But again, a lot of it was the least popular rides.
Well, the ones... The baby ride.
Yeah, I guess you can call them that. So we were able to get, more than the 2 or 3 that they say you should be able to get.
I think we ended up getting 7 different Lightning Lane reservations that day at Magic Kingdom.
I think I had that in my notes too. Yeah, we did Pirates of the Caribbean, Buzz Lightyear, It's a Small World,
Forgot about that one.
The Little Mermaid. But then we went back to Epcot.
Yes, we did.
And we did Soarin' again, Spaceship Earth, and Figment. Or Journey into the Imagination. I guess that's what it's called.
We used the Lightning Lane pass on Figment.
Yeah, we sure did. Even though we didn't need it. There was like no wait when we went. But so we were able to get 7 that day. So that was really cool experience. And just go ahead and bring this up if we haven't mentioned it already. When you park hop, you cannot start getting them until I think 1 or 2. I think whenever you're able to start hopping.
That's more information than this brain is capable of saving for strategy and logistics.
Yeah, one thing you can look up, and because we're still not sure how this works, Mrs. Azkhalon was talking to some of her Disney friends, and they keep mentioning something about stacking. We're still not 100% sure how that works.
Okay, I did do it while we were down there, but I don't remember how I did it. But I don't know. I don't know how. I can't tell you how to do it. I did it. I can't tell you how to do it.
Yeah, so look that up. I'm sure there's some videos about
the
it.
fact that we got the Soarin' Spaceship Earth Figment, that last day, I think that was stacking.
Okay, because we were park hopping. I don't know. Anyways, so that was kind of our experience with it. Again, not terrible, but it does suck that it has changed how you experience Disney World. It really has.
And it doesn't help that it's the 50th anniversary and it's after COVID, well, kind of post-pandemic, and it's extremely crowded. And, I mean, I'll go ahead and tell y'all this. I don't know if he wants to edit this out, but, like, we've kind of pretty much maybe decided that we may not renew our annual passes this year just because I would like to go back when all this hoopla is past because it's too much. However, we do have a Universal trip.
Yeah, so we originally had a Disney trip planned for July, right before we start back school this summer, and we changed it to Universal. It just seems like Universal, and I know I'm getting off topic with Genie Plus here, but Universal just seems to be offering a lot more than Disney World is at this time. Like, we're Disney World APs, and like we feel like the only benefit to that is we get discounts in the stores and at restaurants. Like,
we don't.
There's not a whole lot of perks for being one. Whereas, some of my friends on social media and stuff have been talking to me, definitely about the perks and benefits for being a Universal AP.
We've been Universal Annual Pass holders before. You get discounts on table service, quick service, in the stores, great hotel discounts.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Express after 4 p.m. with a certain one.
With Premier, yeah.
The Premier one.
I mean, and you don't have to sit on your phone all day while you're in the park. Like, you just go in and just enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And, some people have been comparing Genie Plus to, the Express Pass at Universal. At least with the Express Pass with Universal, I know the price is, maybe $100 or whatever.
10 times as much as a Genie Plus Pass.
But at the same time, you can pretty much ride everything that you want to in Universal. There's no guarantee to ride certain rides at Disney World with Genie Plus.
Disney World doesn't have a buy this pass, get to the front of the line every time thing like most theme parks offer. Yeah. Six Flags has their Flash Pass. Universal has Express Pass. Hershey, Knott's Berry Farm, Dollywood, they all have something. Now, they're always pricey, but for impatient people like me, sometimes I would like to pay that extra and make my day a little easier and a little less time on my feet.
Because I think there's only been one time we've gone to Universal where we
didn't think that the Express Pass was worth it.
Yeah, but other than that, it was
an especially busy day too. It was an anomaly.
Yeah, so that's just one thing I wanted to mention really quickly about Genie Plus. Do we have any tips to offer people getting this? I guess. Again,
I would say you're better off trying to get your reservations as early as possible so you can keep, getting new ones over and over. You're better off trying to get the B rides on your Genie Plus, and rope drop and get individual lightning lanes.
If you're in a rope dropping. Yeah. And even still though, if you're staying off site, rope dropping may not be a valid option for you because with the 30 minutes early access, by the time you get there, a lot of those rope droppable rides are, wait times are already crazy. I think Flight of Passage, by the time we got off of it, we're at Animal Kingdom. It was already up there. So, there's just not a whole lot of tips with this. Just make sure you look into it. Make sure you know what you're doing before you go. That's a big thing.
And just know that you're going to have to spend a chunk of change. That was one of the things that bothered me most is when we were done, I felt like I spent more and got less of an experience for the time we were there. And that's when I started thinking, do I really want to renew annual passes or do I want to wait a while till the kinks of this are all worked out, till the 50th is over and there's not as many people there? Because, I don't know, it was frustrating.
Yeah. One good thing, didn't mention earlier, virtual queues are no longer.
I imagine that's one reason I worried about canceling or whatever. It's because of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Mm-hmm. I kind of wonder if they're going to do a virtual queue for that when it opens.
I wonder.
It's supposed to be on Monday, tomorrow. We're supposed to be talking about an opening date.
Which will probably be today by the time you guys see this video.
Monday.
Depending on if I get it edited today.
Yes.
So, but yeah. Yeah. All right, before we close, you can just see Mrs. Azkhalon's frustration in this video. Before we close today, one thing we both kind of decided that we wish Disney had done with this to make things a little bit easier is to offer more individual lightning lane options. I don't know why they got rid of having 2 at each park. I don't know why.
That is one thing. The second thing is, I think that they should let you make your Genie Plus lightning lane, reservations 60 days out like they used to do with fast passes. And that way, you get what you get, but you can plan around it.
Yeah.
Instead of having it be that day. That's hard for people like me. I will say one thing. We both think that right now, if you're wanting to get everything you really want to get done at Disney World, you need to schedule at least 2 days apiece for Hollywood Studios and
Magic Kingdom, definitely.
And then maybe one for Epcot, one for Animal Kingdom, and maybe some park hopping. But you cannot... It's very hard to get everything done at Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom in one day, especially Magic Kingdom.
Well, yeah.
It's very hard.
Unless you want to be there all day, first of all, and you want to wait in some long lines.
Yeah, you don't want to have, like, sit down and have a nice dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
All right, I know. I know this video was probably... Oh, my goodness. Probably at least... I can't even talk right now because she was doing that.
I'm sorry.
I know this video is probably not as happy as our normal videos, but we really wanted to share our Genie Plus experience with you all, especially if you haven't visited Disney World yet, and so that way hopefully it can help you understand it a little bit better, even though we probably was all over the place throughout this video. So if this video helps you in any way, you just like hearing us complain, hit that like button, leave us a comment, let us know about your Genie Plus experience. Hit that subscribe button. Hope this video didn't chase people off from our channel. We'll be back with some fun, funny videos soon. I can promise that. But definitely
some restaurant reviews. We ate good at Disney this time. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, we always eat good at Disney. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. We're on social media, on Instagram. We have an Instagram page, team_Rixie, where we share our Disney World and Universal Studios pictures. So you can check us out on Instagram and follow us there. All right. I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else to add, so we will see you in another video. Y'all take care. You want to throw it up with me?
Have a lovely day.
Peace.